That was a typical drive with my main Hickory club off the tee, my Brassie. It's important to note that this club isn't a driver, but is a 2-wood with close to 12 degrees of loft. There are lots of Hickory drivers out there such as this one, but they have very little loft, often around 8 degrees. This makes it very hard to get airborne, so the majority of Hickory players use a 2-wood, also known as a Brassie, as its higher loft is much easier to use. My main Brassie was made by Spalding and probably dates to the late 20s or early 30s. It has a chunk of lead to give it some more weight in the head. I should mention that finding Hickory woods in good playable condition at antique stores is very difficult. I bought this one from another Hickory golfer as I gave up finding one in the wild, and it's worked very well so far. You can hit this club off the deck, but I choose not to. I've tried this but just couldn't get it airborne consistently enough. A spoon is better suited for this, with its loft being closer to a modern 5-wood. My spoon here is an early steel shaft, but it's good enough for casual rounds. These clubs are prone to breaking due to being almost made entirely of wood, with just the sole plate protecting them. Some have a face insert such as this one, but most such as mine don't. It's important to maintain these clubs well and avoid getting moisture on them, as this can weaken them. I coat mine in shellac to protect them from moisture and give them a nice shine. Buying a reproduction would also be a good idea to mostly take away these concerns. Comparing this club to a modern driver can look comical, as shown here with my 460cc driver. I find it best to think of this club as a fairway wood instead of a driver. Comparing it to my Adams Tightlies 3-wood shows they're pretty similar in head size. In general, these clubs launch much lower due to not really having much technology behind them. However, sometimes they get a high launch, such as with this high slice that boomeranged back into the fairway. Of course, the forgiveness level of these clubs is extremely low compared to modern woods. This picture shows how small the face is with the ball, so obviously not much room for error there. This makes off-center hits much more punishing and can often get you in lots of trouble if you don't strike it well. Tee height can be hard to figure out, but if you tee it up similar to your 3-wood it should be okay. I tend to tee it a bit higher and more forward in my stance to help get it airborne. Again, these woods have a much lower ball flight than modern ones. Here's how I tee mine up. I've seen experienced Hickory golfers tee them virtually off the deck, so it's up to preference, I guess. I use these short wooden tees. I've heard that plastic ones can chip the face, so best to stick with wooden ones. These old woods play pretty differently than their modern counterparts. They have a very small face that can make it pretty easy to duff the ball. I find that using these woods forces me to swing much smoother and more accurately, as swinging away hard like with my modern driver doesn't tend to go well. In conclusion, the Brassie is a completely different beast than a modern driver, but can still be lots of fun once you get used to it. They also make an extremely satisfying sound when you hit them, which is a nice bonus. Anyways, hopefully this video is helpful for someone out there, and thanks for watching.